So the question could be, why? Like, why do you do that? Or, why don't you do this? Why and why not are tremendously powerful, simple questions. And they make the impossible possible. So of course, you recognize the picture. That's a Polaroid camera. So the reason that I've chosen that image is because the person who is most responsible for this technology, for inventing it, was in front of his house one day. This was not quite 100 years ago. And he had a young daughter, and he posed her in front of the house, and he took out his camera, and he took a picture. And she was, I don't know exactly, 6, 7, 8 years old. And she came up to him, and she said, "Dad, I want to see the picture." And he said, "Of course, dear. I'm going to take it in the house, and we'll put the film in the darkroom, and we'll develop it, and we'll print it, and then you can see the picture." And she said, "No, I want to see it now." Right? And that question inspired Edwin Land to invent the Polaroid camera. And perhaps you have been asked a question that has inspired you or may yet inspire you to do something which you thought was impossible. Right? Because questions have that power. Questions are really actually quite amazing. And then another powerful question is simply the question of what if? So hopefully, presumably, you've all been in a conference or a discussion or a meeting or a phone conference, and someone said, "Well, what if we do such and such?" And all of a sudden, new possibilities open up. Right? So these are very powerful questions. Simple, but very powerful. And of course, on the theme of questions, I thought it might be fun to ask you some questions to take advantage of these polling tools. And these are questions about innovation in your organization. So here's the first one. When you think about the innovation process in your own organization, would you say that it is weak, so-so, okay, very good, or outstanding? Again, this is a process question, not the results. That's coming next, but the process. So you're all right, but not great. So there's a great opportunity for improvement here. So you can all run out at some point and start to study innovation methodology. There is, for those of you who selected 1 or 2, clearly great learning opportunity there. So now let's ask the second question, which is again focused on the results. So same answers, but the question is, are the results that your organization achieves weak, so-so, okay, very good, or outstanding? Actually, so we've shifted a little bit to the right. So we're not that enthusiastic about our process in aggregate, but we're not that unhappy with the results. And 17% outstanding for any group would be actually quite admirable. So, excellent. So the third question now is addressing the question about factors. So what is the single most important factor that supports innovation in your organization? So is it the culture? Is it the process? Is it the people? Is it the leaders? Or the, question number 5? So a few percent of you, 13%, are in the we don't have any of those. Otherwise, some of you have a culture that you're enthusiastic about. There seems to be a process problem, which relates back to the first question. And it's the people and leaders. Great. So I go back to my comment about innovation process. So those of you who are weak there can look at that. And one final question, which attempts to relate your organization to others, So compared to your peer organizations or your competitors, do you feel that the rate of innovation in your organization is slower, the same, or faster? So are you laughing because you're in a room full of leaders? That's actually really interesting. It's not quite what I had expected, but in a way, it's probably not surprising that you're at a conference of leaders, so your organizations are leaders, and therefore you're faster. Now, if the conference today is really successful, you will be faster still compared to those who weren't here today. So you can look forward to maybe a higher percentage if we ask the same question again next year.